Hey guys, welcome to one of my first collaboration videos here on YouTube. A good friend of mine and a good YouTuber on here that him and I always like to trade back and forth with as far as complimenting each other on each other's work and things like that. His name is Caleb. He's here on YouTube. I'm going to post a link down below here of his portion of the video here and why it's a collaboration video. And so basically, kind of the idea is this: is you're going to see my take on this topic I'm going to tell you about today, and then you're going to see his take on the topic in his video, which hopefully I'll have the link for down below here pretty soon, or if it might already be there by the time I upload my take on this topic. Um, yeah, Caleb and I, we want to get people interested, so my viewers will hopefully become his viewers, and some of his viewers will hopefully become my viewers. So that's our end goal for this, is what our hope is. And that will also give us the opportunity to share both my side of this topic and his side of the topic, and just kind of get to see what we're all about. And hopefully, you guys will like us, and we'll get more views off of this as an end result as well. So I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna post his link for this down below. But for now, I'm gonna give you my take on what our topic is for today, and that's do we like Marvel or DC better right now in films, and why? So it's not really about the comics for Marvel and DC, but it's more so about how they're doing in the film industry. What do we like about that they're doing right now? What are some things that they probably could do better? Um, and also, what we're doing here is we're choosing one of them that we think is doing better, and we're also going to talk about the company we didn't choose, but we're also going to talk about what they think they're doing well, but ultimately why they're not the number one choice that we brought up from earlier. So like I said before, I ramble on way too much longer than I need to. I'm going to give you my take on the whole subject. So first and foremost, I think Marvel is doing a better job than DC when it comes to movies. Um, I think they have more variety and heroes in their universe than DC does. DC is very reliant on Batman and Superman, I think, which is fine. Batman and Superman are amazing characters. I love their stories. They had some great comics in the past, and they've definitely transferred some of those better comics into films by now, or what they're going to at least. Um, but I feel Marvel has more variety. I like how they have a cinematic universe for the Avengers. They have an X-Men universe. They have a Spider-Man universe. Um, they just have so many more things going on. Though 20th Century Fox owns X-Men, and though Columbia owns the Spider-Man franchise stuff, Marvel's left with their Avengers stuff for their cinematic universe. I think they just have more variety. They just have more going for them, and DC really has to catch up if they really hope to be in the same league as Marvel is right now. I also like how Marvel has a plan. They have a plan of what their lineup's going to be. For those who stay after the end credit scene, for the end credit scenes of all their films, um, they definitely, they know ahead of time what their next film is going to be, and I think that's pretty cool. And as a result, they can have these end credit scenes that hint to those later films. So, one film can lead to, Guardians of the Galaxy. One of them can hint toward, like Avengers 2. One of them can hint toward Ant-Man. They have all these um, little hints every once in a while that's going to tell us about later films, and they're always establishing things, and I just think it's a really cool thing that they have going on for them, that they have everything planned out, that when phase 2 is done, they have a good idea what phase 3 is going to be. And even before phase 3 went into production, more than likely they're going to have their good idea of what phase 4 is going to be of their film lineup. So I think it's just a really cool thing that they do. I also think that Marvel does a better job with having multi-genre superhero stories. Like, for example, Captain America 2 recently, it's not only a superhero film, it's also an espionage film. The Thor films, those are also fantasy films, in my opinion. They also have kind of some medieval elements to them as well. Um, Guardians of the Galaxy, that's going to be a very much a sci-fi heavy film, and there's almost going to be elements of it that almost may not feel like a superhero film, just because Marvel really wants to pitch us this really neat sci-fi tale. Um, they do a lot of crossovers and tie-ins. I think that's also really cool. Tony Stark's mentioned in a other cinematic universe film that is an Iron Man film. They talk about Bruce Banner. They talk about Captain America. Captain America had a cameo in Thor 2. It's just really a lot of cool crossovers and tie-ins that Marvel likes to do, and once again, I think that's really cool. It almost encourages people to go watch those other films if they're strictly a Thor fan, if they're strictly an Iron Man fan, things of that nature. I like how they have all these crossovers and tie-ins. I think that's a really cool thing that they do for their company. I also like all the comic book homages that they do. Captain America 2 specifically did a lot of this. Even for stuff like Doctor Strange and Crossbones and things like that. Uh, Things that not a lot of people are aware of unless they read the Marvel comics. But once again, that encourages them to go check out these Marvel comic books. The ones that still exist anyway, or track them down if they're hardcore collectors. Just once again, another cool thing that they do a lot is a lot of these homages that kind of showcase what other stories they have in mind, and things that are still comic books that may potentially become movies someday. I also think Marvel has an excellent sense of wide variety of acting talents. They get TV actors and actresses. They get A-list actors. They got Robert Redford recently for Captain America 2. They have Samuel L. Jackson in almost all these films. They have Scarlett Johansson. They have Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans. They have all these big name people. And I think that's once again a really cool thing that they do. Also, another thing that kind of started this popular thing with movies is end credit scenes. Marvel kind of started this off with the first Iron Man film, and I like how, like, once again, they set up for future films that they have in store for us. It just kind of encourages people to stay after these credits and really see all these names of all these people that are involved with these films. And as a result, the gift that they give to us is that we kind of get to see a brief tease of what may happen in a future Marvel film. So that was my take on Marvel. As you can tell, I definitely like them a lot better than DC at the moment. But for DC Comics, as far as my opinion of how they're doing right now in film, um, some of the positive things I think DC has going for them is they go as big as they possibly can with the content that they have. Really cool thing that they do. Man of Steel and Dark Knight definitely pushed itself to its limits. Um, Once again, they went as big as they could, and as a result, we got really cool movies off of them. Another thing that DC has going for them that Marvel maybe could use it can only help Marvel if they did something like this. They have Christopher Nolan on their side. They have Christopher Nolan. From what I know right now, it sounds like he's either going to produce all the DC films from here on out, or at least be an executive producer or something. He's going to help out in some way, even if he's not directing any of these. I know The Dark Knight Rises was definitely his last superhero film, and I think it's probably his last film he's going to direct for DC. But he's still going to be part of all these productions. He's definitely going to help out with Batman versus Superman and Justice League, and if they ever make a Flash movie, my guess is he's going to produce that. And so once again, they have Christopher Nolan, one of my I can't talk today. Um, One of my all-time favorite film directors, and I think it's really cool that they have this big name director helping him out. So that's one thing DC has over Marvel is they choose quality over quantity. But unfortunately, Marvel has a lot of quality already, so DC has to catch up. But nonetheless, DC's going for the quality over quantity route, which could be pretty cool if they can pull it off with all these future films that they have in mind. Um, I also think DC is more TV active than Marvel is, though Marvel has Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and I think it's been rumored that a Peggy Carter might get her own show at some point. DC is very more TV heavy. They have a Flash TV show. They have a Green Arrow TV show right now. Back in the day, they had a Wonder Woman show and a Flash show, Green Lantern animated series, Batman, Superman, all those characters. They had a Justice League show. So clearly, they're a bigger TV active company than Marvel is. Which is kind of cool, because you can watch these stuff for free on TV if you have these channels. So that's one advantage about them over, waiting 2 or 3 years down the road for these big budget films. So that's one thing that DC has over Marvel is they can quickly get these made for a very low price, show them to people for free. They can, see their stuff easier, watch them without leaving their home. So that is one advantage they have over Marvel. For some of the negatives about DC, I think they are strictly. I don't like how they're strictly fantasy based. It seems like they don't really like to explore outside of fantasy or superhero stuff, so they don't like to explore a lot of genres, unfortunately. Once again, they rely way too much on Batman and Superman. I need to see a lot more Flash stories, more Green Lantern stories from them, more Wonder Woman, more Martian Manhunter, more Aquaman. A lot of those people I just named, they don't even have their own cinematic movies yet, live action anyway. Those need to happen because they're just using Batman and Superman way too much right now, and it's time that DC use more of their heroes to really showcase, what they have as a company. I also don't like that DC doesn't have much of a plan right now. They don't seem as well planned as Marvel is when it comes to big budget films and things like that. Once 2016 hits, they're done. I mean, they need to make up a new plan. Justice League film more than likely will probably still be in production by then. We're going to have Batman versus Superman, so we'll see how some of their big crossover stuff works out. But for the most part, they don't have much of a plan. And so I think that they really want to keep up with Marvel, they need to have a bigger plan established as far as where their movies are going. I also don't like how DC has a tendency to do everything at once with no relaxed pace. No relaxed pace. Um, it just seems like they're throwing in Wonder Woman and all these villains, and it's been rumored that like Doomsday might be thrown in there, and Lex Luthor, and all these characters that are very much going to overstuff the movie because there's just so many big name characters. They might as well just call it a Justice League movie because almost all the Justice League is going to be in it pretty much, have big cameos, and I don't know. It seems like they're doing way too much at once, and they don't want to take their time. And I think that's going to hurt them in the long run. I think is that they just didn't take their time. They're trying to rush. They're trying to compete too much, and I might hurt them in the end. So that was my take, you guys. Like I said, I'm going to post Caleb's take on this down below. Hope you like it. Hope you check out his take on this topic. Hope you liked my take on the topic. And if Caleb's link sent you to my video, I hope that I become a future YouTuber that you like to watch just as much as Caleb. And Caleb, thank you for doing this opportunity. Like I said, I hope you post my link to this on your video down below, just like I'm about to do to yours here, or have if this video is uploaded by now. And yeah, we might do another future collaboration like this, you guys. And until then, I hope to see you guys here for future videos. And like I said, if you haven't checked out Caleb's take on this topic yet, make sure you do so.